This is After Hours Live for the Man Cave. This is your host, Tay Wiggs.
and co-host Mark Seen.
Man, first and foremost, man, big things on to tap. We're going to let Marcus kick things off.
All right, so number one on the
Uh,
agenda, on the chopping block, Ben Simmons. Now
mhm.
we seen Ben Simmons in his latest playoff. Um, he was freezing. He froze under pressure,
Right.
not shooting the ball. He had
Got
what?
to be kidding.
He had three shot attempts in the fourth quarter in all the games, just three. Danny Green played one game, he had two. What's wrong with Ben Simmons? Is he gonna be more aggressive? Is he gonna be off the team? Should they trade? Should they trade him? Because he ain't getting it together. This is now like four postseasons where he choked under pressure, pretty much. He's
Hey,
not the same player in the regular season as the offseason.
Ben, see, everybody can call him Ben Simmons. The way he played, I'm going to call him by his government name, Benjamin Simmons. He's a 6'10" point guard. Now, everybody's seen the clip where that he had an open layup and
This is a
Trey Young
dunk.
was on.
That'd
He
have been a
threw the
dunk,
ball away.
right?
Now, Now, if I'm 6'10", I got like a 6'3" or a 6'2" point guard on me, I'm flushing it down his head.
Right.
But when you're looking at someone like Ben Simmons, a great athlete,
Hmm.
uh, he's a passer, um, the defender. And the one thing they keep doing, they try to compare him to LeBron James. Now, LeBron James get that close to the basket. We know he's laying the ball up. He's dunking the
Right.
ball foremost. Now,
Right.
Ben Simmons, now you're looking at where he is. Like I say, he's a 6'10" guy. And in the fourth quarter, like, it's nowhere to be found. I just found that just kind of crazy just for in this series, Ben Simmons went what in the 7-game series, Ben Simmons went missing game 4,
Mhm.
game 5.
Five.
No, he really went missing 5, 6, and 7. Now
Right.
you're looking at
Six. I think six. He was in foul trouble, but they won because he was in foul. Like they won because he wasn't in the game.
I mean, what's so crazy about that series? You couldn't even play. You're one of your best. You're one of your better defenders in the fourth quarter, and all I keep hearing is where if Danny Green was healthy and available, it made the game that much easier. Now you're looking at the Philadelphia 76ers, number 1 seed in the East, Marcus.
Number one.
They was up on this team. They got too
Hmm.
comfortable.
Yep.
And I mean, I'm saying it before. I'm saying it again. I cannot take the Philadelphia 76ers serious when your leader is goofy. It's just as Dwight Howard. So you're looking at Joel Embiid, the process, and Dwight Howard, aka going to be Superman. You cannot take these guys serious. In the middle of the game, the camera's on Dwight Howard. He grabs the camera like that and start making faces. Like,
Hmm.
when are these guys going to step up? I'm not going to put all the blame on Joel Embiid because he stepped up, Marcus, right?
Right. He did. He had a
Now,
moment.
Ben Simmons, this guy here, Benjamin Simmons,
Benjamin.
been in the league for almost what's this, his 5th or 6th year in the league, right?
Yeah, I
And you
think
tell me this
so.
guy
I
has
say that.
not hired a shooting coach?
You definitely. He probably got a shooting coach. He just it don't sound like he listened to him or you. Let me say this. He can have a shooting coach. He
Right.
can be shooting 1,000 jumpers every day,
Mhm,
but he does
mhm.
not do it in the game. So we don't know. We got a question. Do we got one? Do we don't? Like what is he doing?
Right. So look, I don't know what Ben Simmons is doing. Like, I never. Now this is the same guy. They played the Toronto Raptors in the Eastern Conference Finals,
Hmm.
right? Was this the same guy who was scared to guard Kawhi Leonard, or he was the same? This is the same fellow who was scared to take jump shots on Kawhi Leonard. He passed the ball so quick.
Right.
It's mental than anything.
Absolutely.
Now you look at this game recap. As I go back to Game 5 and look at the recap, for Philadelphia, right? I go down to Benjamin Simmons. He was 2 for 4 in 38 minutes, Marcus.
4 shots.
4 for 14, abysmal 20%, 9 assists, and only had 8 points. How can you win like that?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, it's not only he's not shooting, when he does, like you said, 20%, like missing more than he make. It's never gonna get to the 76ers to the finals.
Mhm.
He like you said, it's mental. I don't know who he need to talk to. Maybe he need to talk to Phil Jackson, call him up out of retirement. See if he got some mental exercises for him. Kevin Love, the chairman of Headspace, him and DeMar DeRozan, he need to get in touch with these guys to figure out what's mentally blocking him from, in at least the fourth quarter, from being aggressive. At the very least, I don't even ask him to shoot; just be aggressive. You got a layup, take the layup, dunk. He's not even doing that anymore.
Right, exactly. When you're looking at somebody else was going to step up, Tobias Harris, he had 10 points also in that game. But he also played huge minutes. I was kind of watching this game that throughout the series. I'm like, okay, Mike Scott didn't play. I thought they could have put that guy in, knock a couple of shots down. The guard, uh, Trae Young and Kevin Herter, or you got Anthony Tolliver. He's a known 3-point shooter too. I thought Doc Rivers. This is the part I'm going on. Doc Rivers, when facing adversity, he always losing these game sevens or these game 6 situations. Now,
Right.
the jury is out now. I'm gonna be quite frankly and be quite honest. Doc Rivers is still living on that 2008-2009 NBA championship.
That's the only one
For a
got.
fact.
Right.
You had real NBA veterans, Kevin Garnett, Hall of Famer, Paul Pierce, soon to be Hall of Famer, Ray Allen, soon to be Hall of Famer, if not in the Hall of Fame. Then you got guys on the bench that knew their roles. James Posey, PJ Brown. You had a young guy, Tony Allen, rookie Rondo. You had Big Perk. I can keep naming guys on and on. Eddie House. How can we forget about Eddie House? These guys knew what was expected to get on the floor. Doc Rivers never got a team that he had from scratch and molded a championship caliber team. He always get the
teams. These teams ain't even from scratch. The Clippers, where's Philly? Like those teams was already loaded with talent.
Exactly. When you looking at Doc Rivers, is Doc Rivers a good coach?
I change my mind on it every year. Like I'm gonna say, yeah. I mean, because what we let off with, like he can't control if Ben Simmons is going to perform or not. I mean, he could have set him down. I guess that's part of his job. Ben ain't got it. He's scared. Let's get somebody else in. He could have did that for sure. But I wouldn't say he's a bad coach because of that. He was trying to ride with him. Show him some confidence.
Me, I'm gonna say he is just because when it comes in the fourth quarter, Doc Rivers have no type of in-game situation. He cannot change things up. Get the same thing from every time in the fourth quarter. Like what type of plays you got drawn up? Where your shooters at? Where your shooters at? What hurt them the most? There's no JJ Redick. I thought JJ Redick would have bailed them out a lot. Another guy, another nice little piece, TJ McConnell. Yes, they got Steph Curry, but he went missing too in this game 7. So you're looking at in that game 7. I think that game 5. I think he had what? No, game 4. I think he had 36 points or 37 points. Steph did.
I was about to say, I don't know about that. I think Steph Curry, beyond Joel Embiid, was probably their best player. Their best player.
And it's so sad, Marcus. Joel Embiid is actually playing on the bum knee. So you're looking at just where Steph Curry stepped up in that game 7. All right, 16 points, 30 minutes. Joel Embiid with 31. Tobias Harris had 24. Right.
Right.
When you go down to Benjamin Simmons, 2 for 4, 35 minutes with 5 points. Now, this guy said he wanted to be one of the greatest players to play basketball. With that type of movement that he playing, he's gonna be playing over there in with Shanghai Sharks. The way we're gonna be over with Jimmy Fredette and Jeremy Lin over in the CBA league. I mean, you're not getting all of Ben Simmons. Said it before, like I said again, had this argument at my last previous job with one of my coworkers. He argued me up and down that Ben Simmons, now listen to what he said, that Ben Simmons was better than Luka Doncic.
That's false.
Now, when I said that, at the time this movie went out, Ben Simmons not even better than Luka, the cartoon from Disney, from Pixar. Because he came up clutch.
Right.
Ben Simmons? Nah, man. Nah. He got to give him a real shooting coach. And he go hook up with Chris Jenkins, a lethal shooter, because Ben Simmons, man, that's and he's a lefty. Like, that's a head problem. And the way he played on that night, Philadelphia fans, I know you out there. I feel your pain. There's a warning poster out there. A 6'10" point guard, not armed and dangerous, will not shoot. And we got this for you right here, Ben. Ben Simmons, if you're out there, it's APB out on you.
We gonna find
you. Return this once, surrender all the cash. Philadelphia 76ers move on from Ben Simmons. Doc Rivers proved, like I said, Doc Rivers, they had no type of adjustment, no late game adjustment.
And it's funny because if you look, across the conference, his protege, Ty Lue, who didn't get enough credit when he was here in Cleveland, he made all the adjustments in the world. And he was on the coaching staff with him just a year ago. And
what's the name again? Marcus?
Ty Lue.
Look.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent.
He's a better coach than Doc Rivers. And I'm not going to cut you off. I'm going to let you finish what you had to say about Ty Lue.
Yeah, I was just saying, he made the right adjustments in that Utah series, where in this case his team wasn't the number 1 seed like Philly, like Doc Rivers' team. Right. His best player was hurt, Kawhi Leonard. Right. He didn't even play. Joel Embiid at least played and still was putting up 30 big numbers. Kawhi didn't even play, and Ty Lue just exposed the big defensive player of the year. By spreading the balls, playing small ball. That was like an in-game adjustment that he just rolled out for the rest of the series, and they got the dub. The dub from it. Doc Rivers, on the other hand, had no aha moment like that in the past 2 or 3 years, though. Not just this series, the past 2 or 3 years. But I will say he did a good enough job to get him the number 1 seed. It's got to be you got to get some credit for that, which is why I say he's not a bad coach. He's a bad playoff coach for the past 5 or 6 seasons. How about that?
So regular season Doc Rivers versus playoff Rivers, Doc Rivers. Now, Marcus, you said a mouthful, because when I'm looking at Tyronn Lue and the Clippers, it's the same squad. It's the same squad that Doc had. And he can't even get these guys to the Western Conference Finals. Is it me that Ty Lue is picking up all the pieces where the coaches got fired at, and he's making them looking like, yo, I see what's going on here. I know what this is. Let's make these adjustments. Look at Reggie Jackson.
Reggie Jackson, all NBA.
Right.
All NBA Reggie.
He's been playing phenomenal basketball. Paul George, even though he had that game 1 in these Western Conference Finals, when he scored 1 point in the 4th quarter, do you feel like he shook the pandemic P part, or the jury is still out?
Yeah, I think so. I think because like I said, Kawhi didn't play those last 2 games, and Paul George put the team on his back,
Yeah, he
and
did.
and they won them last 2 games. So you got to get the pandemic P, the way off P. I think he grew out of that. He
Okay.
graduated to playoff P for now. There's still more
Ooh.
games left to be played.
He said playoff P. I'm looking at Paul George, I'm not gonna lie, he's still one of my favorite guys I like to watch. But he is getting busy. But let's talk about that man they got over there. Kawhi Leonard.
Claw.
The claw. When you're looking at his injury, how significant or severe is this injury, Marcus?
It's gonna be very. I mean, I don't know how bad he's hurt. After the end of that game, I think it was
Mhm.
Rachel Nichols. She asked him flat out. When he injured it, like the specific play, he said he was good, and then the next day they said he didn't play, and he hasn't played since. If it's just a sprain, like they saying, I say he'll be back probably at like 80%.
Mhm.
But they gonna need that 80% because as you saw, Devin Booker he controlled the game without Chris Paul, put
Right.
up 40, like had a triple double. So they gonna need somebody to guard him,
Mhm.
and then keep him under control. Otherwise, I don't think they're gonna win it. I don't think they're gonna get swept, but they ain't gonna win this series if they can't get some help on a defensive end because playoff he can't score and guard the
Defend.
best player. Yeah, like
Exactly.
he can defend, but just not the best player on their team. When the best player on their team is Devin Booker.
Now, every time that Devin Booker caught the ball, I was thinking of this. Money in the bank.
Right.
From
Absolutely.
my recollection, that I don't know how true it is. They said Chris Paul brother was at the game.
Who,
That
Cliff?
yeah, Uncle Cliff.
Right.
Well, every time I say Devin Booker, money in the bank.
Right.
Now I don't know how true it is, but every time that they say Chris Paul brother's at the game, that Chris Paul brother was calling out plays.
Okay.
He was saying certain messages in D book and campaign was running these plays. Now, if you look at what Chris Paul's doing in the Western semifinals, right? Then you look at what Devin Booker is doing on the Western Conference Finals. If you look at some of them plays that is run and some of the shots that Devin Booker is hitting, these are Chris Paul S type plays. So I'm saying if Chris Paul did that and told his brother to call those plays, man, come on, man. That's point God for real. But this man is at home. Hey, bruh, tell D Book and campaign run 6-7 flat. And then I heard running the play and he's executing it. And one thing I like about Monty Williams, who I thought should have been coach of the year,
Yep, I thought so too.
Monty Williams understood. He played on the Spurs teams. He been he played on a couple of teams, but he won the championship with the Spurs too as well. But you looking at his dynamic, he's a player's coach. Tyronn Lue's a player's coach.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at these type of guys. These type of coaches don't look as these players. Oh man, I'm really coaching Paul George. Oh, I'm really coaching LeBron. No, these coaches that actually take their time with their players as Chris Paul, Devin Booker. When they take their time and they understand them and do team things and the team comes up, hang out with each other, this is what happens. Your team prevail. And like Ty Lue said, man, everybody in the room got to be held accountable. You got to trust your brother, trust your teammates. You can't go out for self. Now, we always mention how we talk about hero ball as a Doc Rivers-ism. His team put out a hero ball. One thing about the Clippers, and I'm gonna say these last 4 teams remaining, they share the rock very well. Other players get involved in the game. I'm looking at Phoenix. DeAndre Ayton is a beast. But the sleeper in this series, though, for Phoenix, been Mikal Bridges.
Yep. And I think this whole playoffs, he's been the X factor for their team.
X Factor, Marcus. Mikal Bridges get into that bag this summer just because I just see certain things. Look, he's going hard on defense. He's definitely getting an extra rebound on the offensive end. You can't teach hustle. It's just in you. Look at Cameron Payne. Money in the bank. He's living with Chris Paul in Phoenix.
Oh.
So with Devin Booker, money in the bank, get the ball. Devin Booker just cashing in. Now, you're going into this game tonight, as you took away from the first game of the Western Conference Finals, the Clippers and the Suns, that was a huge win with no CP3. Like you said, Devin Booker had 40 points. What do you have? Was it 13 rebounds and 11 assists, Marcus?
Yep, triple double.
His first triple double.
He had the Westbrook. That's what I'm gonna start calling it.
Hey, I like what Jim Jackson said, because we always say it, Marcus. The 15-footer shot is not lost in the game. Players are just not comfortable taking it. It's a more comfortable shot. It's easy to cash in. Look at Devin Booker, man.
Him and KD. Like, that's what they was living at.
Kate, man. Hey, look. KD, hats off to him. Man, I'm sitting here watching KD go, like, going bucket for bucket. I knew they weren't gonna make it to the NBA Finals. I said they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals at best. I think they should pick either Philly or Milwaukee to come out, I believe. And I'm looking, we didn't mention Atlanta Hawks. We're like, yo, we saying Atlanta Hawks is at best no more than the AC or probably a playoff end team. Now you look at a team like the Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young, scrappy. Kevin Huerter, scrappy.
The Barger, Opie Cunningham. That's the
Opie Cunningham. Hey, what's gonna hurt probably the most for the Atlanta Hawks? Was it DeAndre Hunter?
Yeah.
That's a huge loss. Maybe we might see some more people get some more playing time. We may see a Cam Reddish, but I do want to give a shout out as well to Nate McMillan. He got fired from Indiana. They say the coaching style wasn't right. I can't tell because the Hawks, before he took over, Lloyd Pierce was the head coach. A real travel coach. Actually coached the Cavaliers, been in Golden State and all these other teams around the league. And you're looking at Lloyd Pierce. Maybe I ain't gonna say he was a bad coach. I'm gonna say philosophy. A younger team not getting the nuisance or the basketball lingo that's coming. Nate McMillan came in because I don't think Lloyd Pierce played in the NBA. So you're looking at Nate McMillan as a point guard coach, right?
Right.
If you look at these coaches that are actually in the playoffs right now, Seth Budenholzer, Steve Nash, point guard, Ty Lue, point guard, Doc Rivers, point guard, Nate McMillan, point guard. A lot of these coaches have set the foundations for these point guards. I think the hardest one to get to was Ben Simmons. But back to the Atlanta Hawks who took care of business. Nate McMillan, this is the same team that was like 12 or 13 games out of the playoffs. Right. They're going like a little run from March to April. They went like 16-3 down the stretch. That's to make the playoffs. They ain't go highest seed as number 5 seed to beat the New York Knicks with the coach of the year in a 6-man. That's tough.
He was most improved.
My bad. Thank you. Most improved MIP. He didn't play like most improved. Julius Randle. I thought different players and different pieces for the Hawks stepped up. Now we know they play tonight. I mean, not tonight. I'm sorry, Milwaukee.
Well, they play Wednesday. Yeah.
They play tomorrow. You're looking at Giannis. Kobe told him to get a championship within the next couple of years. Now, since it's these 4 teams left, you get the Hawks. How many games do you really see the Milwaukee Bucks and Hawks series going, Marcus?
It really depends on Trae Young. If he is if he has it going, like that game 7, he really didn't have it going, and they still somehow won because of
Right.
Herter. If he has it going, I think it can go 6
Oh,
and even 7. If it goes 7 games, then I'm gonna give it to the Bucks. But if they can steal this first game, I give the Hawks a chance at making an NBA Finals appearance. I really, because they're real underdogs. Like you said, they went on that 16-3 run late in the stretch of the season. And Trey Young is like, he's just not unbothered by the moment,
mhm.
and he's not going to be intimidated. So, and by virtue, since he's the point guard, everyone else is not going to be intimidated, as we saw with Herter, as we see with Jason Collins, as we see even Lou Will, who I
John
think,
Collins.
John Collins, even Lou Will, who in the past was on Doc Rivers teams, he has been not very good in the playoffs. Even he's playing good in the playoffs. So I think I think I'm gonna go with the Atlanta Hawks to upset the
Ooh,
Milwaukee Bucks, because I think the
how
Bucks
many?
barely got in. Like a centimeter, if KD foot was just a centimeter back, they would be packing it up. So
Now, wow, you said the Bucks may go packing. Oh no, it's just something about the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean,
this is if any year will be their year, this their year. But it's just I'm living in the Hawks moment, the Atlanta Hawks moment. I don't know.
wow, you gotta be lost. You gotta be stumble birds for that. I'm going with the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay.
Um, they played 3 games this season. The Bucks took 2 out of 3, one at home and one on the road, and the Hawks beat them pretty bad as well. And all them games been high scoring games. 125, 115, Bucks. Second game, 120, 109, Bucks. Third game, 104, 111, Hawks. I think that third guy, if I believe, I think Giannis fouled out. And if I see the pattern, I'll be honest with you, I'm going Sean Kemp on them. Give me the Bucks to win at 4-0.
Okay.
I think it may be a sweep. I think it just may be too much Giannis. I think this is where in this series, don't be surprised if Chris Middleton get a 40-point ball. If one of them, if both of them on 20 plus, 25 plus, it's gonna be a long series for the Atlanta Hawks because the Hawks have to stop Middleton, Giannis. You see Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday anywhere he want on the floor. Excuse me, anywhere he wants to be on the floor. It's a lot they got to do now. And if for the Bucks, in case if they want to set the tone early, they have to jump on Trey Young early. Trey Young likes to feel the paint and shoot his floaters. Once he get the floater going, then guess what? The 3 ball be activated from downtown. So you're looking at that. Who's going to make which coach in this series is going to make that key adjustment?
I mean, Nate McMillan been doing it so far, so so I think he will probably be the one. I think to your point,
Repeat that again, Marcus.
If the Bucks sweep, I don't think there'll be an adjustment needed. But if it go beyond the sweep, I'm gonna give it to Nate McMillan because I picked the Hawks, so I think he's gonna be the one to make the adjustment.
If the Hawks, like I said, I'm going. If the Bucks sweep them 4-0, all that what Gladys Knight say, the midnight train to Georgia. All I'm saying. It's gonna be a tough series. It's gonna be a fun series. Nobody wasn't expecting the. I'm gonna say the Bucks was supposed to be there, but I ain't even say that. I think everybody really from the East really expected the Sixers and the Brooklyn Nets to be to be the last 2 standing in the East. But I think you did pick the Bucks and the Sixers. I just didn't believe and the Brooklyn Nets. I'm going backwards, back to the Brooklyn Nets, just being because we always said it, and people chiming in. We're saying, no, I think the Brooklyn Nets will come out the East. I said, there's no way because these guys only played literally 8 games together on the whole season. A 72-game season, one of the shortest seasons probably in NBA history, to my knowledge. So you're looking at James
I think
Harden.
that the year San Antonio won, the lockout seasons.
Oh yeah, the
2000.
50 game,
Yeah,
50, 55 game season. Yeah. So you're looking at where in that in this type of situation with James Harden, he had the audacity, Marcus, to get on the podium after they lost that game 7 and say, we were decimated by injuries. Now, I know my brain working. I know my limbs is working. I'm watching TV. Every year you hurt, bro.
He's hurt, yep, for sure.
It's hamstring every year. What are you doing?
You gotta
to
lose
hide
some
your hamstring?
LBs.
You had Chris Paul one season, your hamstring went out. You had Russell Westbrook.
No way, his
season
hamstring
before.
ain't go out that year.
Who
Chris
is it?
Paul's hamstring.
Oh,
went out.
okay, Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Oh, he just couldn't buy no buckets. He's not clutch. He had Russell Westbrook. Was he hurt in that series? I think he was hurt.
Yeah, I think so.
He was hurt. He was hurt. And everybody keeps saying, oh, that's brain James Harden minutes down a little bit so he can be healthy for the playoffs. And they did that. And he still found some way to get hurt.
He way too much. You gotta drop some LBs. Some lower extremities.
He's top heavy.
Sprains and pulls is normally like a weight to muscle ratio is off.
Can we just say James Harden's a regular season player? When it comes to the playoffs, Marcus, let's go back. The year they played the Miami Heat in the championship. When he came off the bench as the 6th man.
Yeah, KD and
James Harden hasn't been the same since he missed that layup.
Oh, I think he got a little Nick Anderson.
Oh no!
Mr. Free throws ain't been right since. So he's saying it's that layup that got him messed up.
James Harden, I don't know. This is James Harden right now in the last 5 years. It's broken, man. It cannot be fixed. It's shattered. I mean, Kyrie Irving, they had a stat out there that Kyrie Irving hasn't made out the 2nd round since he left LeBron James.
Those are facts. He hasn't. He's been hurt too.
He's been hurt. Now listen to this. When he played for the Boston Celtics, he got hurt. The team went further with him. Without him.
Then with him.
The next year he come back, they get bounced. I mean, you can't. Injuries is part of the game. It's not their fault. It is part of the game. But Kevin Durant came off a Jones fracture injury. He took his time. He took the right process to get healthy. And look at him.
And he had the Achilles.
He got the Achilles straight. He took his time. No more low top shoes. I think most of the shoes been high top now with the latest shoe he got. So you're looking at that standpoint, and you're looking at Blake Griffin, who robbed the Detroit Pistons for all these years, get his first dunk in the first 2.5 years. Now what you gotta say about that?
Man, he was looking like the Blake of old, dunking, running forward, defending Giannis. I mean, to keep it real, if this team come back next year as is, they don't gotta do no changes. They'll be in the finals.
Oh,
I'm gonna keep going back to it. Just a centimeter, just this much, and they would have went to the finals this year.
I don't know if people peep this, Marcus. Everybody is crying. The Brooklyn Nets, they got Mike James. They got Mike James. I'm like,
who?
Where was he played?
Not to be found.
Let's be honest. Steve Kerr,
Kyrie, something like that.
Steve Nash got no coach.
Oh, yeah, it was his first year. I mean, with no coaching experience, first year.
Let's be honest, Marcus. When they signed Mike D'Antoni as their assistant coach, when you look at that, Mike D'Antoni, he's offensive minded. There's no defensive sets to their game. The best defender they had on their team was Bruce Brown.
hmm
Now he may get the bag this summer.
He showed up. He shot more shots than Ben Simmons in his fourth quarters. I know that. I know that.
And everybody, we killing Ben Simmons. Hey, let's be honest. These are the same guys who are peers running base saying, hey man, Joe Harris is one of the best 3-point shooting guys in the league. Now listen to this, I'm doing stats. Did you know that what I'm about to say is going to be shocking? Ben Simmons is 5 for 24 from the 3-point line. I mean 5 for 24 from the field, right?
Right. Good.
Did you know Joe Harris is 5 for 24 from the 3-point line in this series?
He took more threes than this man took shots. Is that what you're saying? Joe didn't. He kind of froze up too. He's been MIA in big games.
So the Brooklyn Nets did not play Brooklyn Nets basketball. Did not get everybody involved. It became more of a KD get the ball, everybody watch out and watch. James Harden get the ball, everybody watch out. Kyrie get the ball, everybody watch out. If you look at most of their players, a lot of the guys got their shots when the shot clock was going down. Yes, they was cashing out. They wasn't playing their type of Brooklyn Nets basketball that I was used to seeing in the regular season. They went away from some of that stuff, Marcus. That's what I'm saying. Don't change the game, how we playing because we're in the playoffs. They played more uptight than anything. They didn't play with that free flow.
I agree.
Then, two, with the Brooklyn Nets, like I said, no Mike James to hardly get play. They didn't play Claxton at all that much. I think what hurt them probably the most, Uncle Jeff went out being injured. Another person that could spread the floor, another person could put the ball on the floor, defend, shoot. I think they lost a lot with him. I thought Wills hurt them too, to be honest with you. When LaMarcus Aldridge retired too, which I thought that would have gave him another big man present too to slow the game down. So that probably hurt them there. We can say what hurt the team, but what hurt the team the most that they got outcoached.
Yep.
They knew that once they found out Kyrie went down, I mean, James, they knew when Kyrie went down, they had the Milwaukee Bucks. So you know what? Their playoff wins were like this. Their chances of winning that series like this. Once Kyrie went out, it went like this. Right?
Increased.
Then, two, on top of that, let's rewind that back. That fourth quarter in that game 7, when James Harden hit that shot off the glass with 4 minutes and 6 seconds left. That was his last basket. He didn't score at all.
I ain't pay attention to that.
He didn't score.
He was hurt though. That's his crutch. He was hurt. They were decimated.
As a coach said, if you hurt, don't dress. If you dress, you out there playing, you are healthy. You're a healthy start. So we can't give everybody giving all the excuses in the world. Oh, the Brooklyn Nets was hurt. Oh, they was injured. I mean, as long as you get dressed and you suit up and tie them shoes up and throw that jersey on, whatever sport you play, or if you going to work, if you got a headache, you know you don't feel good. Once you put them clothes on and go to work in the morning and get in your car, you a healthy worker. People can care less how you feel. So when people say, "Oh man, they was hurt," blah blah blah, don't play. James Harden wasn't hurt. You can, if you ask me, laughing, drinking Brooklyn Nets smoothies. The team the next night, 2 nights later, they come in drinking smoothies. They think it's a joke. This team thought they had the championship in their hands. They play with fire, Marcus. When you play with fire, you get burnt.
That's number 1 rule. Play with fire, get burnt.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Next Keita Bear.
Right. So now we're gonna go back to the Clippers and Suns series. So who you already said you go with the Hawks and win this series against the Milwaukee Bucks.
Mhm.
Now, how many games this series may go for the Hawks to beat the Bucks?
I say 6. It got to be 6. It's 2 caveats. It got to be 6, and they got to win this first game. They got to surprise them this first game. If they don't come out and steal game 1, it's gonna be an uphill battle. But I'm gonna ride with them and hope upon hope if
You
game 1
sound
doesn't go right.
confident. That's hey man, man, you sound too confident. But I do understand what you're saying. They do got Clint Capella, long athletic.
Excellent.
They do got John Collins,
Mhm.
long and athletic.
Mhm.
But you know this would have been a sleeper for the Hawks, man, though. Dino Gallinari.
Dominati.
Yo, he been stepping up for real. Unsung hero for them. Got that late bucket down the stretch against the Brooklyn Nets, that breakaway dunk that opened
Yes,
the doors up.
it's another guy who ain't scared either. Like the moment is not bothering him.
That boy Marcus said that the Hawks can. Hey, it's anybody's game to see the series. The season series 0-0 right now. If they can still win the Bucks floor, and they go back down to Atlanta at the highlight factory to even things up 1-1 and possibly get a game, win a game 3 there, man, sky's the limit for the Hawks, man. Marcus, I'm like, he said 6. Hey, I like the Bucks at 4. It's the first time we actually had a disagreement on one of these in a while. He said, wow. He said ATL. He said, welcome to Atlanta where the players play. I'm going with the Milwaukee Bucks to sweep in 4, the reason, man, Cuckoo Cow and my projects, that's an old school song right there, man. Like the Bucks in 4, just because they had small market city like Cleveland. That's the reason I was riding for them to make it to the NBA Finals. Giannis, a former MVP. Now we're going to this Clippers and Phoenix Suns series. Phoenix Suns lead this series 1-0. We back on that topic. As of right now, they saying Kawhi Leonard is not really, he's not scratched off the game. So there's a possibility he could play. That's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like.
Now,
That ain't been what's happening.
right.
That's what it
So
sounds like.
if Kawhi don't play tonight, Marcus, the scary thing is, can Phoenix go up 2-0?
They could, but what you got to remember is the Clippers have been down 2-0 every series and have come back and won.
That is the truth. That is the truth. But the whole thing is, they cannot let Devin Booker get hot.
That's a tough task. Without Kawhi Leonard, that's a tough task.
So you look at, what's the one matchup that you do like about this series?
I like DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, man.
And whoever they pair him up against, they've been trying Boogie. Boogie been putting up good, offensive numbers, but he's not mobile enough to hang with Ayton. Ayton he boxing out, grabbing rebounds, he coming out for the defend, he getting back, and it's just getting Boogie in foul trouble. Like he just fouling them, to try to keep up. And if the Phoenix Suns win, even if Chris Paul come back, even if Kawhi Leonard come back, it's gonna be because DeAndre Ayton and the Clippers not having a reliable big man to stick on. I mean, they can try Zubac. They already tried DeMarcus Cousins, but I don't think that's gonna work in the long run.
Like, if the Clip, all right, like Zubac in that first game had 18 minutes, 9 points. The way DeAndre is playing was like men amongst boys. But the player I was looking for to have the big game and step up was Terrence Mann after he came up with that 39-point performance.
Outer body experience he had in that game 6. Outer body.
Like I said, Nicholas Batum was only good as his last game. He can defend, but he only gonna give you 5 points like he did in game 1. Paul George, 34. Now it's gonna be tough because they in Phoenix, and the Phoenix fans is literally kicking every visitor team opponent's butt. I ain't talking about the players. I'm talking about the fans. They got you another fight again. The fans, the Phoenix Sun guy who beat the one guy with the Nuggets jersey. I'm talking about the Suns at 4 beating up dude's friend.
Mm.
Now, and against the Clippers, Clippers fans was talking trash in Phoenix. They say, some Clipper fans got beat up by some Suns fans. This is why I'm picking the Phoenix Suns to win. They got a hungry fan base.
Good fan.
I mean, the last time the Phoenix Suns has been to an NBA championship was 1993. But Charles Barkley,
Charles Barkley was there.
yeah, Charles Barkley, Dan Marley, Kevin Johnson.
Thunder Dan.
Who else want to say? Elliot Perry, Cedric Ceballos, Mark West. I can keep going. I remember that game like it was yesterday. You know who's on that team too? On that Phoenix Suns team? I think Danny Ainge.
Danny, oh yeah, he was.
So when you're looking at that Phoenix squad and that city's hungry, man. You want to see everybody want to see their favorite player like LeBron, people like Kevin Durant winning championship rings or Steph Curry. But it's always fun though to see another city and another team to get excited to win a championship because you just want to see how they feel. Like I said, look at you got your championship hat on. You know what I'm saying? It feels good when you go somewhere, when you get on that flight, or you on vacation, you throw that Cavs hat on. People are you from Cleveland? Better know it.
Right.
Better know it. That's what Ross would say. Like what Tony would say, you better know it. But the whole thing is, can Reggie Jackson, Marcus, on a serious note, can he put up 24 points again in a game?
I think he's proven himself to be just like Paul George got off that playoff stink. Reggie Jackson has proven himself to be pretty battle tested, and he gonna put up numbers. He's like, I think he's shooting like 50% from the field, 40 from 30, like that 50, 40, 90.
Yeah, he
90
right
from the
now
free throw
in
line.
this series he's shooting 53% and 33% from downtown because he took 12 threes. Other than that, that's not his character. But you think he can? But the person who needs to step up though is Luke Kennard. He's a -5 on the floor. They got him to be a knockdown shooter, right? And he's getting the bag, Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting the bag.
That's another Northeast Ohio guy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. No, I think Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Okay.
I'm looking at where I think that we may see a different look at the point guard spot. Maybe you may see Rondo get the sub off the bench before Patrick Beverly. When Russell Westbrook said all he do is run around and foul people, that seemed to be true because he was -6. He was -6 on the floor with only 2 points. So you're looking at that aspect. What can he do for you? Like he was 1 for 2. We know Rondo is going to find different ways. If they want to win this game, like you said, I thought Boogie was going to have a good start. He was having a good start to the Suns and Clippers game. I thought he was going to do some justice for them. Like you said, since he ruptured that Achilles tendon, he don't have that same explosiveness and that quickness and lateral movement on the floor to be reckoned out there. Yeah, he can hit the 15-footer, he can shoot the 3, but he's not the same Boogie. He can get down and put that ball on the ground and drive to the hole like that.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Now, in this series, you did say that you did. I mean, that's kind of scary though. That if Phoenix do go up 2-0, and we know right now, I ain't even gonna say the Clippers. We know that Ty Lue is like the guy who can bring you back from large defeats and you can win a series. He proved it when he did with the Cavaliers back in 2016. Now he's doing the same thing now. 4 years was it 5 years later? Yeah, 5 years later now with the Clippers. Like you're saying, every since they've been down 0-2. They came forward. I think this team a little bit different than the Suns because that monster they got, Devin Booker, man. I mean, he's playing Kobe-esque right now. Like he's not scared of the moment. He's stepping up. He's legendary. And the crazy thing, I think he got that tat on his arm too somewhere. Legendary. Okay. And he's not playing. He's coming in, man. Look, same Stoke face and everything. You got a guy that focused, and you got Chris Paul as your mentor or mentee. Man, what can you do? Chris Paul, that attitude has rubbing off on the team.
Mm-hmm. And like all the places he go.
Right.
The team take on his attitude.
Mm-hmm. Now, Marcus, switching things up. NBA draft tonight. I mean, not the NBA draft. NBA draft lottery come on tonight.
Mhm.
If you was out there on the limb, what's the chances that the 1 to 3 teams or the 4 teams get the number one draft pick? Who you think may get the number one draft pick in the 2021 draft? That would be in July.
You always going to side with the Cavs. They won. I've never seen a team they won 3 drafts in 3 drafts in like a 5-year period. So I would say the odds is for the Cavs, and then two other teams, the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think they have a chance of getting it again.
Mhm.
And who's the end of Detroit Pistons? So I don't know if the Timberwolves were they one of the worst 4. I should look it up. But I think it's either one of the Timberwolves, Pistons, or Cavs, and then a long shot, the Warriors.
Yeah. You know else we probably can get in with the high draft pick too? The Golden State Warriors.
Mhm.
Again.
Again, 2 years in a row.
Or the OKC Thunder. I can see these 3 teams right here, either one of the top 3. I'm gonna go with man, that's tough.
While we
I'm
waiting
gonna say the Houston Rockets get the number one draft pick.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 2 Cavs. I'm gonna go 3 the Detroit Pistons. I'm gonna go 4. I'm gonna say 4 is gonna shock some people. I'm gonna say the 4th pick is probably gonna be the Toronto Raptors, even though they finished like 1 or 2 games outside the playoff in bubble.
Okay. I think that's pretty spot on to the odds. Houston 1. I looked it up. Detroit 2, Orlando and Oklahoma. That's 1 and 4.
So anything is possible. Now, looking ahead to the NBA draft, some players already opted out and went back to college. I think Armando Bicop went back to North Carolina. He went back to school. You're looking at who could be the number one draft pick out there. Who do you think is the number one draft pick? Do you really think Jalen Suggs gonna be number one draft pick?
If any of them teams we named, yes, everybody except the Golden State Warriors, because they all need guards. You had somebody else in mind?
I want to say the big boy out of Iowa, Luka Garza.
Okay.
Now, if he goes first, Marcus, that could change the whole complexity and dynamic of the NBA draft. Because
everything.
Now, if the Pistons the Pistons or the Rockets do have a number one draft pick, if they go big man, because John Wall's leaving, John Wall's gone. They're gonna be a free agent. So if John Wall goes to another team, hypothetically, who needs a point guard really bad, let's just say, I'm gonna throw it out there, say John Wall gonna play for the New York Knicks. Do New York Knicks get better, or do they get worse? Or
they get better.
The one team to watch out for next year, the Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic next year could finish higher than the 6th or 5th seed. I like the young nucleus they got. I definitely do. Book me down for Orlando Magic being the 5 or 6 seeded team in the Eastern Conference playoffs, because it's just every year.
Who's they draft pick this year? It was Fultz and then Cole Anthony. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking out loud.
My guy, he had a couple of game winners this year too as well. So Cole Anthony, Markelle Fultz come back from injury. Jonathan Isaac come back from injury. You talking about this is a different Orlando Magic team.
All right.
And they got Gary Harris.
They traded Aaron Gordon for Gary Harris. I was just about to say.
They got rid of Evan Fournier, so they got rid of the big money off their books. So that young Orlando Magic team, if they get another piece or the right pieces down there, they'd be great. They'd be a 5th or 6th seeded team. And I ain't gonna say that the coach got fired, whatever you want to call it, parted ways with
Pardon
Steve
me.
Clifford, the former coach of the Charlotte Hornets. Now, who will get the Orlando Magic's coaching vacancy? They could do some damage down there in Orlando
Mhm.
at the MOA Center.
Yes, sir. I said they'd be a
Now,
middle of the pack team next year.
yeah. So looking at the Timberwolves, they're gonna have to make some moves, Marcus.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Uh,
Carl Anthony Towns been through now for what, 7 seasons?
mhm.
And he been
This was a rough year for him. I would say
it
that,
is. Can we say D'Angelo Williams? I mean D'Angelo Russell, I'm sorry. Can we say D'Angelo Russell is actually injury prone?
he is, or he's he not. I wouldn't call him injury prone. He's something like a little worse. Like when things are not going well, he's injured. When things are going well, he's out there on the
Mm.
floor. But it's very rare when things are going well. He only had that 1 year in Brooklyn, and he played. And
Oh
that's when
yeah.
everybody was trying to give him most improved. But other than that, he's been on bad teams with no chance of making it, and he's all of a sudden hurt them.
Now we know next year is the best part of our free agency. Other free agent, a lot of players be free agents next year. Bronze, uh, Paul, I think Paul George and these guys, whatever.
I think Paul George
Urban.
signed Kawhi gonna be
Okay.
though. I think I may have that wrong. It's hard to keep up these days.
When you when I when I look at D'Angelo Russell, this is what I think about. Like he has to be.
Brr,
It's a bummer for him.
brr.
So he is what you want. Can he stay healthy? Can he do this? I mean, like you said, Mark, he only had one healthy season in Brooklyn. One good healthy season. Him and Spencer Dinwiddie, speaker of Spencer Dinwiddie, he turned down the contract offer from the Brooklyn Nets.
So attention, Los Angeles Lakers. Spencer Dinwiddie is on the market. That's who
Need
needs
a
him.
point guard.
Right.
He's from South LA.
Right.
So what can they do? Russell Westbrook, a free agent. Can the Lakers get Russell for cheap?
They could.
Russell Wilson.
They gonna need something for
I said
Brooklyn.
Russell Wilson. Russell Westbrook. I'm sorry. Wilson throws the pigskin. One dribble the other. One dribble basketball. Sorry, Russell. Russell Westbrook. Sorry, Brody. The Lakers, can they get him cheap?
They could.
How much is Russell Westbrook willing to part ways with money wise?
I mean, his guy was Scott Brooks. I know he didn't want Scott Brooks gone. It just depends that Bradley Beal situation. If Brad's gonna stay there, I don't think Russ, because of what happened between him and KD, I don't think he'd just leave Brad high and dry like that.
Because Russ is a real one.
Yeah.
All right, nobody's not talking about this, Marcus. We know DeMar DeRozan like Toronto, but Kyle Lowry want to move on for Toronto. Hypothetically, Marcus, just speaking basketball, just say DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry go hook up and play another franchise.
That's
What team do you see those two actually being on the same squad?
I would say the Philadelphia 76ers. Kyle Lowry's from Philly. DeMar DeRozan, I think he's a free agent. They can link up and help out Joel Embiid big time.
I like that. I like that because you can move Tobias Harris from the two to the 3,
and
you could put DeMar at the 2, and you got Kyle at the 1. I knew you was gonna say that. I knew you was gonna say that. I just want to see what you're going. I knew you was going to say that just because I'm looking from it from that standpoint, like because DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry are tight like that.
Yo,
Them on the same team again, but this time with some help. Well, we know Kyle got them to get the ring, but I know for a fact
Mhm.
DeMar DeRozan is burning inside because
Mhm.
he gave his all to Toronto and they traded him away for Kawhi Leonard. Of course, you got to trade away something to get something, but
right.
to watch your teammate, your brother, your best friend, your NBA brother to win a championship, he was happy for him, but I know deep down inside, man, burning.
Very much so.
So just imagine,
Very
Marcus,
much
they
so.
trade. Let's just say hypothetically, we're gonna say that the Spurs trade DeMar DeRozan to Philly, but I don't think San Antonio want Ben Simmons because they got Dejounte Murray. Dejounte Murray. You have to get
You
another
know,
team
you know, he's
involved.
trying to get them clutch guys together.
Or LA.
That's why, well, Ben Simmons, DeJounte Murray, clutch guys. That's where Ben Simmons is going to end up. Look for where clutch sports is heavy. You got LA, the Lakers. You got San Antonio. I think they got Lonnie Walker and DeJounte Murray. I may be wrong about that. The Cavs, they got Garland and well, they just got Garland. So, but Rich Paul's from Cleveland, so you got to put that together there.
Now,
He gonna end up
speaking
in a
of,
clutch destination.
speaking of the Cavaliers with Colin Sexton, now we already talked about how good this team looked when he's not playing and how other guys get the ball fed from Darius Garland.
Mhm.
Now, say the Cavaliers do get like a Ben Simmons to go along with Darius Garland. You know, if you trade the Cavaliers get Ben Simmons, you're not going to trade Colin Sexton straight up. You got to get rid of Kevin Love.
Which they should do. I
Now,
like Kevin Love, but thanks for the shit, Kev. But I think it's his time.
if the Cavaliers want to get rid of Kevin Love and Colin Sexton, and I keep hearing stuff like a Portland trade may come up. If they trade him to Portland, and you talk about Colin Sexton going to be behind Damian Lillard, and if the Cavs do make a trade to Portland, can you imagine the Cavs getting back like a CJ McCollum
Yeah,
to
that'd be
to
too
to go
nice.
along with Darius Garland? Do you see
Yeah.
CJ even getting moved this summer?
Um, so that's another. Those are three franchises. Dallas, or I should say four: Dallas, Portland,
Mm,
Utah, and Philly. Like they got to do something. They all gonna make moves. I don't know what those moves are. CJ and Dame is like the two players we just talked about, DeMar and Kyle Lowry. Like they real close. So it's gonna be unlikely to break them up unless they get in a super duper star back, somebody like Kawhi Leonard.
now we know the Cavaliers is not a good team, but other team playoff. I'm gonna say championship contender teams do like the Cavs pieces. They like a
Mhm.
Colin Sexton. They like a Jared Allen. Larry Nance Jr. name always come up in trade talk.
Mhm.
Do you feel like if they get like a CJ McCollum, do you feel like they had to part ways with Larry Nance Jr.? Do you feel like he's
Uh,
untouchable, or is it more Darius Garland? All the players are more untouchable.
yeah, I feel like there's Garland, Sexton to some extent, and Jared Allen. Like those are the untouchables, and then it's like another layer with probably like Larry Nance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, who's
Who Larry Nance? Because certain players
um,
with Larry Nance, that's going to be tough to give us someone like that of
I
his
mean,
stature.
if they keep, I mean, the Cavs, if they get Ben Simmons, they'll be the best defensive team in the league next year. They have
Mm-hmm.
Jared Allen, they have Ben Simmons, Isaac Okoro. That's another player that is
I
probably untouchable.
forget
Um,
about Io.
and Larry Nance. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know everybody. No, I'm not a Kobe Altman fan, Marcus. Now,
Yeah,
do
I'm
you
iffy
feel
on
like Kobe Altman? I'm gonna have to get rid of Drummond. Got rid of him so he won't have to pay him next year. Now we seen Andre Drummond play for the Lakers this past season. We see him play in the playoffs. He looked terrible. He has no type of playoff basketball. Like he had no basketball IQ.
he's borderline unplayable.
JaVale McGee would have got more playing time if he was the Lakers.
Yeah.
Now, looking at all these speculations, now Luka Doncic, right? We know he's unhappy. Rick Carlisle is gone. Donnie Nelson Jr. stepped down as a GM.
Mhm.
Now Luka is mad because some of his core guys are gone. Who are they going to bring as the head coach for them? Who's going to be the new GM? Kristaps Porzingis is unhappy of his role. He thought he was going to be the main guy in Dallas. Like, come on, you weren't even the main guy playing for the New York Knickerbockers. But now you're playing for the Dallas Mavericks. Luka is the team. Luka be a free agent next year. Now, if this team don't get it right, now we already know that Luka grew up a huge LeBron James fan. He said he would love to play with LeBron one day before it's said and done. Now, just imagine Luka playing for the Lakers next following season. Now, what that's going to be like? Because the team that's going to come back and hurt everybody. Everybody have to watch out is for them Golden State Warriors.
Yep. That's my stealth pick for the finals, Warriors and the Nets. Unless things happen. We ain't even in the off season quite yet. But if Luka was to play with LeBron,
Mm-hmm.
man, I mean LeBron's gonna get like 3 more rings. He ain't even have to do nothing.
Now, speaking of the guy LeBron James, he's been paid, pretty much probably gonna be a billion by the year's over with. Got the movie come on in 3 weeks. Will LeBron James take a pay cut, Marcus, to lure guys in? Tim Duncan has done it.
No, he's not. I answer that right on top. It's not happening.
So LeBron James is cashing out.
He's
So
cashing out at all costs.
LeBron James will get all the cash, which means for LeBron, he is all about the money. Now, we're looking at what's going on in the league. And I want to switch things up. Go to another topic now. Now, you got the NFL player, Carl Nassib, used to play, linebacker for Penn State, who led Penn State before getting drafted, led the college in sacks, play along with Saquon Barkley there. Now, he played at Tampa Bay and other various teams. He's coming out as the first openly gay NFL player to go public.
Right.
Now,
active, the keyword
active,
there. They
active.
drafted, I forget the name, was it
Michael Sam.
Michael Sam.
Now,
he was openly gay, so.
Yes, but the part is like about, what I'm saying? I don't care what these people believe in, who they like. You know what I'm saying? I can't judge nobody, first and foremost. Now, I am going to be politically correct. Now, when Michael Sam came out, the commissioner, Roger Goodell, said the NFL wasn't ready for that. Hey, we're going to fast forward it 5-6 years later. Carl Nassib come out, hey man, I'm gay, blah, blah, blah. Commissioner said, we respect you, we're gonna be ready, we're gonna accept you with open arms. Now, Michael Sam is black.
Mm-hmm.
Carl Nassib is white. Caucasian. Let's be politically correct. Caucasian guy. Because white is not white. It's Caucasian. Now, when you're looking at that, I'm looking at all the NFL players. I mean, good man, yeah, thanks a lot, Brody. But people clown Michael Sam for coming out as a gay man because he's black. Now, when a black person does something, trying to set the bar, is coming out and saying this what he believe in, what they do, people laugh at it, make a joke at it. But another nationality outside of the African American race, every other race get a praise for. Now, I'm kind of pissed off about that because all these guys sit up on TV saying, "Oh, man, it's good for the league." I just want to do this. Sound alarm. That's a bunch of BS. Because with Michael Sam, like I said, when he did it came out, y'all joked about him, y'all clowned him. He didn't never he didn't get drafted, but he got picked up by the Rams and they released him. He get drafted. Carl Nassib, how he played his cards a little bit different. He played the role right. Played about 5 or 6 years in the NFL. Come out as openly gay. If he play a full season this year, and say if you don't make another team from here on out, he know because he played about 3 to 4 years in the NFL. He already said he had to say he can still get the retirement NFL pension check. I just feel like I was looking at some guys, some athletes. I don't know who their names are, but they are in the NFL. It was like, hey, Michael Sam should be in the league too. And this is going to happen because Carl Nassib is going to be in the league, and he's been locked room all this time, and Michael Sam has yet to get in to be in someone's locker room for a period of 5 to 6 seasons. How you feel about this type of situation on a serious note, due to Michael Sam being black and Carl Nassib being white?
um, I mean, it definitely do feel like Nassim is being more readily accepted. Now, with that being said, that's on by the NFL for one, more and most important, but also other players, both black and white. At least from what I can see, the response, it's been relatively short news,
Right.
recent news, but from what I can see, both black and white players are really accepting it. But Michael Sam, I think he didn't get enough support from
Recognition,
his
yeah,
yeah,
from
from
his
his fellow black
peers.
athletes.
Yeah,
Had he got that, I think his situation may have been a little bit different. Um, and I really didn't know enough about him to say if he was, because I don't know about Nassam either that much, to be honest. Like, I don't know how good either player really is. So it
right.
seems like they're even, but one is getting a little more fair treatment than the other. And I'll say to that point, these players are coming out, he's coming out as openly gay. But I think there's probably more players in all sports that are gay, and just people in the
I'm
locker
not saying
room
that.
know it and they're just not saying that.
And the crazy thing too, Marcus, I like how Michael Sam took the high road. He said he congratulated Carl Nassib. He said, "I respected what you did, blah, blah, blah," and stuff like that. And the reason I said I respected what he did because Carl Nassib never gave the recognition to Michael Sam. Hey, I've been wanting to come all this time, but I do want to say thank you to Michael Sam for helping me get over this hurdle.
Right. The
That's the
pioneer, pretty
part
much.
I'm having a problem with. Michael Sam took the high road, so you know what, man, I congratulate you, man, for coming out as an openly gay NFL player or whatever, an openly gay man. And I'm like I said, I was sitting there watching that. So okay, I'm looking at Carl Nassib. He said, "I'm not doing this for publicity. You make a video to go viral. When it goes viral, that is publicity."
Mm.
Um, I just feel like he should have been more certainly more understanding. Like, look, man, hey, before I say something, I want to say thank you to Michael Sam. First and foremost, that'll raise eyebrows right there. Second,
Right.
he should like, I want to say, first and foremost, I want to say thank you to Michael Sam for coming out as an openly gay player at the time, doing his NFL combine, and doing his whole experience. What I'm about to say to you guys, hey, I'm Carl Nassib, blah, 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 come out as an openly gay player at the NFL. He didn't do that. That's the part I was trying to get around. And everybody trying to give him appease him. Like I said, Michael Sam, like you said, Marcus, Michael Sam to get that same type of, like you said, that respect from his peers. They didn't stick to him. They left him out to dry. because I'm like you said, Mark. I'm pretty much sure there's pretty much gay players in the NFL, a lot more. Gay players in baseball, gay players in NBA.
Mhm.
Some are not going to say anything because they know they're gonna still get paid. They know if they say something in those other two leagues, you could be banned. They can be banned. Like they only have a team ain't got to pick you up.
Right. You just be blackballed out the league.
Right. So on that note, we're not done. One more topic. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers been quiet so far, right? So they had like I think him and what is his name? Tom Brady had some of those little podcasts they was talking. Two good friends.
Mm-hmm.
I think they was talking about should have been left. See, I left. Now, you looking at Aaron Rodgers' case,
Man, Tom Brady was with the Patriots his whole career. What are you
Right.
talking about? He left when he was like 40-some years old.
right? And they was gonna trade you anyway. He was getting up there.
Right.
I think the last season in New England, I think he played bad on purpose, where he can get on New England and go to a team of his choice. Aaron Rodgers, they're not gonna let him go. They not. If they do let him go, who's going to play for the Denver Broncos or the Raiders? Because those are two teams I can really identify. I can see him really playing.
I mean, those are really the only teams that have QB vacancy that need to be filled. That'd be a high profile team. Like
Because Drew
unless he
Lock is,
gonna go.
uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't really see nowhere else. Everybody's got. I mean, who's the Chargers? Who's the Chargers quarterback?
Justin Herbert, he ain't going nowhere.
Okay.
He broke Baker Mayfield touchdown rookie record as touchdown strong.
Okay, so
He ain't going nowhere. I'm just looking at where I think Derek Carr. I think it might be time for him to move on to Derek Carr. Maybe he get traded to Green Bay. Maybe everybody know that John Elway like to pick up veteran quarterbacks. He won a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning, so we know he like to get the second fiddle, the second dibs on everything. So if you do have a nice offer out there to get Aaron Rodgers, everybody knows if you want Aaron Rodgers, you had to give up pretty much the whole entree and the silver platter to get the player that you want. So are these guys really gonna make that move? Or is this gonna be a Barry Sanders / Calvin Johnson type thing that forced him to retire in Detroit?
I don't think he'll retire. I think he will sit out until they trade him, though.
Because he missed he missed mandatory camp.
Mm-hmm.
So those are some things. So Marcus, before we go, who's winning? So we got a game tonight. The Clippers and Suns. Who's winning game number 2?
I would say the Clippers. If Chris Paul not playing, the Clippers winning. If Chris Paul plays, they going down 0-2. Just from him, his presence. Like he don't even got to do nothing. He just got to be there. They going. The Suns will win. But I think the Clippers. I think Ty Lue. They had just came off that. That 6-game series. It was just a real quick turnaround. He can make some adjustments, and they can get the win. I mean, I don't see. I see Devin Booker continue what he's doing, but it's the other players. Where he got 11 assists because people made shots. So they got to stop those guys. Other guys making shots.
Hey, this is going to be a good. It's going to be a good match tonight.
Right.
Because this game number 2, I'm gonna go with the Phoenix Suns. I just think Zubac can't keep up with DeAndre. Devin Booker right now is too much. Unless they're gonna have to get Devin Booker early on the trapping scheme. They're gonna trap him early. But if you want to win, if the Suns want to win or the Clippers want to win, the Clippers must stop Cameron Payne.
Okay.
You can't let Jay Crowder get extra rebounds for second chance shots for Devin Booker. You can't let that happen. Now, if Phoenix want to win, they got to contain Paul George. You can't let Paul George score 30 something, going for 20 something points in the first quarter. Can't do that. You gotta stop Reggie Jackson. I don't think Reggie Jackson gonna have another 24-point game performance tonight. I think he's gonna finish the game with 15 points.
Okay.
I don't see that same performance again. I think the Phoenix Suns will win tonight by 10
Okay.
in the desert. As Charles Barkley say, I guarantee it. And with that, this team is just too much for the Clippers. All I'm going to say for the Phoenix Suns is if they win tonight, it's gonna be over, bro.
I mean, like I said, you can't count them Clippers out. They've been down 0-2 every series so far. That's even if they lose tonight. I think they're gonna win.
So Marcus, you said you got the Clippers winning.
Mhm. Tonight, I don't know about the series yet, but just tonight. Tonight.
Marcus, he said that we're gonna get Marcus this.
Yeah.
And on that note, this is After Hours Live for the Man Cave. This is your host Tay Wiggs.
Peace.
Mark Senior out. Peace.